Welcome to Conversations with Champions. My name is Johnny Randolph, and I am a speaker, trainer, a renowned Toastmaster, and my co-host. He is an entrepreneur. He is a John Maxwell trainer. He is the coach's tech guy, Michael Pope. Michael, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? Hey, how you doing? I'm Michael Pope, like Johnny mentioned, international Maxwell certified speaker, trainer, and coach, certified at the highest level with the Maxwell team, also a neuroencoding specialist, absolutely passionate about empowering high-achieving doers to rise. And by rise, I mean helping them resiliently overcome challenges, inspire others, strategically achieve their goals, and embrace their full potential.
And
Johnny,
you see why he's my co-host. And now you see why he's my co-host, right? All right. So if you're adjusting your screen, you're like, is that who I think it is? Yes, it is. So no need to get your prescription enhanced or adjust your monitor. I have with me as our guest, Miss Still Standing. Miss knows how to shine like the sun on the big stage. She is an entrepreneur herself, a life coach. She is the 2018 World Champion of Public Speaking, Miss Ramona J. Smith. Say what's up to the people, Ramona.
Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, the premise of our show is that we know Toastmasters speech contest is imminent. And we thought we would serve our audience by hearing some advice, some best practices, some coaching from prior champions. What we're going to do first is we're going to take a look at Ramona's World Championship speech. We're going to give a reaction for it. And then Michael and I are going to pick her brain about her journey throughout the entire process.
Still standing, Ramona J. Smith.
Look at that energy.
So happy to be there.
And you could tell the authenticity.
Life will sometimes feel like a fight. The punches, jabs, and hooks will come in the form of challenges, obstacles, and failures. Yet if you stay in the ring,
that's just practice, man,
and learn from those past fights,
you threw a nice jab. I'm like, how many fights has she been in?
I didn't throw a good hook, though. I threw a wrong punch somewhere.
Mr. Contest Chair.
Nobody knew.
Fellow fighters.
A fighter pointed that out to me.
Time when life tries
other than
to
the professional fighter.
You down. Who was your toughest opponent? Most often, our most challenging opponent is ourselves.
Somebody help me edit that part. Heidi Caperton.
Round one.
I love the stage movement, how you used it as a part of the story.
I dropped out of college.
Choreography.
Each stage, I specifically remember it.
Yep.
I told myself, college isn't for me, and I would never go back.
Theater, acting.
Round two, marriage. I married my soulmate, the love of my life, my best friend. He was fine too.
That's somebody.
We were married for 8 long, beautiful, amazing months.
There it was. We're like years, but there it was.
You heard right. Months, not years. It was like immediately after we said I do, the heavyweight champion came in and delivered an electrifying knockout blow to our vows. Boom! Divorced.
That George Foreman hit me.
Round 3, speaking.
And the crowd can relate.
In 2015, I competed for the first time in the international speech contest. I won at the club level. I won at the area level. I won at the division level. Then the district level was on the way. I was on the road. I was on fire. I was unstoppable.
Footwork. I like it. Right, footwork.
I lost. I was crushed. After going 3 rounds and taking hit after hit, I was ready to throw in the towel.
Props equal points.
I was down for the count. 6, 7, 8.
Love the visuals.
When was the last time life knocked you down?
That silence.
Who was that lifeline?
Let them think
that
about
you
it.
reached out
Yes,
to
that's the
help
question.
you stand back up? Was it your family? Your friends? Or did you hold on to your faith? Maybe you've never been knocked down, but you've seen one of your family members take a devastating blow. Were you the lifeline that they were reaching out to help them stand back up? Were you the coach in the corner saying, get up, stand up? As I gathered all the strength within myself to pick myself back up, stand. Instead of looking into a mirror of defeat, it became a window of possibilities.
Right.
Let's go. Game time.
I got back in the ring.
And you go back to that
went back to
same
college.
spot. I love it.
I got my degree,
Yep.
and I graduated magna cum laude.
That's right.
Yes.
You didn't
After
step on the
failing
laugh or the
4
applause. You waited
times,
for it.
I was still standing.
Phrase that pays.
Yep.
After my loss at the district level, I'm speaking to you from the world championship
And you
stage.
skipped level 2 and went
It's a
all the way to level
moment.
3, the third point. Yep.
Thank
You can see it. You can see. I can literally see it.
Thank you. Even after suffering loss, I'm still standing. As for my marriage, I'm still in training.
With the curl bar. I like it.
I have not yet
Love the
found
humor.
Mr. Right, but this is an international convention.
Yeah.
Hey, I got biggest sport in high school.
Call you.
And there are thousands of men from hundreds of different countries. So single Toastmasters, even after my divorce, I'm still standing. My challenge to you is to stay in the ring, whether you're a fighter or a coach. If you're on the side of the ring coaching, or if you're in that ring throwing those jabs and those hooks,
That was an uppercut.
when that final bell rings, ding, ding,
It
ding,
was.
the
It
Funny
fighters
like
was. It's
that.
and the
uppercut.
coaches
Yeah.
will raise their hands in victory singing, I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Totally
We're
unexpected.
still
Totally
standing.
unexpected.
And the fact that they
Very
responded is key, right?
Stay in that
Because I've been in a
That's for
speech
international
contest.
crowd.
A few
Yes.
Yeah.
hits.
I've been in a speech contest
what
and
you
I said to
learned
repeat after me, and
from
it was
those
like
previous
deaf
fights.
ears. I had to wait like
And at the end of each round, you'll remain still standing. Mr. Contest Chair.
There we go. All right.
I'll tell you, so much to love about that speech. But one thing in particular that I absolutely love that took amazing confidence in knowing your material is that you adapted your speech to the audience, right? Like you threw in different parts where a lot of times when you're working in a speech contest, you've got everything timed down to the second because every second matters in a speech contest, but yet you were able to do different adaptations of your presentation to connect with the audience. I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was impressive. The first question that I have is, when you make it to the semifinals, you have to create a second speech, another speech in the case that you make it to the finals. I would like to know, how did you balance worrying about executing at the semifinal level with also knowing that you had to deliver another speech that may not have been as well tested?
Funny story that has been evolving, and rumors and things like that. But at the semifinals, I was confident because I had given that same speech from the club level all the way through the semifinals. I had no hesitation. I was not worried about what I was going to do or how I was going to do. I didn't know I was going to win, but I knew that I was going to get up there and leave it all on the stage. And funny story within this story, I was the only woman in my group. I believe it was the semifinals group 9 or something like that. I was the only woman. It was my first time making it that far. So I'm there kind of like shaking in my boots. At this point, I teach elementary school. I don't know anything about this world of professional speakers. And this older gentleman comes up to me. He had to be about 65. Comes up to me and I'm like, yes, grandfather, knowledge, wisdom. Give me something. I need some care, some love. Hold me. You see, I'm over here shaking. He bends down and said, I'm going to beat the pants off you, right?
It's competitive. It's competitive.
I didn't know that. So instantly I switched. I'm like, well, lucky for me, I'm wearing a skirt. Let's go. Yeah. And he didn't even place. Anywho, so semifinals, I wasn't worried about that because I had perfected the not good enough speech. And I'll send you guys the link to that because my mom and a lot of other people agree that that's better than still standing. So I had a speech because I started preparing. Once I won the district level competition, I knew that I had to have that second speech. A lot of speakers don't know that, but I had some mentors who told me, like, look, if you win district, prepare for the finals. So I had a speech that I had prepared in my living room by myself, thinking about fun things that the audience might love. But once I got to the semifinal stage and I realized that the crowd likes humor, this crowd has a different vibe and a different feel. The message I wrote for them in my living room by myself is not going to resonate. I had to make a tough choice. I said, I'm going to scratch it. I can't use that one. It's not going to work. And that was Thursday. And so once I made that decision, I called the same lady who helped me edit my speech, Heidi Caperton, one of my fellow Toastmasters. And I'm like, Heidi, I need a new speech. What am I going to do?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm like, I was freaking out.
I'd have been freaking out.
Because at that point, I didn't even have a theme. I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's Thursday night. The big show is Saturday. So she was like, go to sleep. I said, what? She said, go to sleep. And Heidi's a writer. She's an editor. She's an author. She's extremely creative. And I trust her. She said, go to sleep. So I went to sleep. This is in Chicago. I'm staying at my cousin's loft. And I went to sleep after a glass of wine or two. But I went to sleep. But when I woke up, I kid you not, I said, boxing. And so I turned on his television and I started looking up boxing and different styles and making sure it was a universal language, because I know if I would have chose soccer, it would have been football versus football. And that would have been confusing. Baseball, let's not even go there. Basketball, boxing, fighting, resilience. And I worked so hard that whole day. I finished the speech and it was a rebirth of one of the speeches that I had done previously. So I had done a speech in 2015 called Unbreakable, and that's the reason why I lost, because that speech was horrible. So I rebirthed Unbreakable using the tips and strategies and feedback from my mentors. And then I wrote that speech and then I sent it to Heidi and she was like, don't say this, say that. Don't say this, say that. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I took it to my team of Toastmasters who were there with me in Chicago. And when I tell you we practiced all night, I had those ladies up to about 3 a.m, got back up at 6 a.m. to practice in the hallways. And it might've been earlier. I think I let them go at 2 a.m. I got up at 4:30 a.m. and I'm pacing the embassy suites or whatever hotel we were in the morning, still dark outside, in my pajamas. You know, so to make a long story short, semifinals was fine. Finals, I had to make some last minute adjustments.
Oh, that's as interesting as the actual speech. Like, that's the behind the scenes in the movies. That's the behind the scene credits, like the extra takes that I want to hear. That was awesome. Michael, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so I'm floored by that one, right? It's like what you just said, knowing that you had just learned this speech, just memorized it, but yet you were still flexible enough to adjust your speech based on your audience, which I absolutely love that you adapted to the audience. So that was awesome. So let me ask you this. This is just a fun question. So Ramona, what puts a smile on your face in the morning? Obviously, you've got this positive personality. So what puts a smile on your face in the morning?
When my son is home, because he lives in Ohio and I live in Texas, but he came down for the summer. Something in me just lights up when I have something to kind of live extra for. When I know that when I wake up in the morning, this child gonna be hungry. Let me get in there and make some grits, some cheese, eggs,
That's
some
what I'm
turkey
talking about.
bacon, some potatoes. Let me feed this child. When my child he's an athlete, so he likes to go to the gym, and he's my trainer when he's here. So after breakfast, we're gonna go to the gym, and then we're gonna go to the pool, and just the fulfillment of motherhood. That's what really changed my life in general. But the fulfillment of motherhood when my son is here, that puts a smile on my face. Having something to look forward to. Like right now, I'm in the middle of my 40 days of I Am challenge with a cohort of about 20 women. And every morning I get to wake up and journal 40 affirmations about myself. So waking up in the morning and having something to look forward to, that puts a smile on my face.
Okay. What I want to know is, what surprised you most about your journey from the club level contest leading all the way up to the international contest?
And I know that in Toastmasters, we stay away from certain subjects. So to not get too religious, I had a plan for my life when I moved to Houston, Texas in 2017, because I was a late bloomer. I did not finish undergrad until I was 30, as you know, because I kept dropping out. But because I had my son, I finally went back and finished. So when I moved to Houston, it was about 3 days after I got my degree, because I wasn't playing any games. My plan was to teach for 5 years, buy a house, and then pursue my dream of public speaking. I got hired as a teacher in July of 2018. I became the world champion in August of 2018.
Wow.
I'm like, what are you doing, sir? That's not my plan. I was going to teach and I had a salary and this and that. And they say we plan and God laughs. That was the most unexpected thing on this whole journey, because I've always wanted to be a public speaker. I've always wanted to be a motivational speaker. I've always wanted to be an internationally known public speaker. These are mission statements that I had written on my wall before I had kids, before I had a vehicle. When I was a young thing, this is what I wrote down. And then to see it happen, but not the way I expected it to happen, it was like, yay, but what?
Let me interject here something real quick. And the only thing I'm going to say is, the universe, but that's God, whatever you believe in, it had a plan. And you were listening. A lot of times, the universe, whatever it is talking, but people aren't listening. Oh, I'll join up for Toastmasters next year. I don't have time for it this year. Such and such. So somebody told you to go into whatever club that it was. Somebody told you to say, oh, I want to compete in the contest. Somebody told you to keep on working on it. And instead of saying, oh, I can't do it, I don't have time, I'm doing this, you listen to it.
It's that burning desire. When it burns, I've tried to run away from speaking many, many times, but there comes a time where you have to surrender.
Yep.
I couldn't say no. I could not say no, but then it started to affect my teaching job, which was never something I wanted to do. I never want to be no teacher. It started to affect that because I started to be out of the classroom more than I was inside the classroom. And my principal came to me and she said, Ramona, you're bringing some great publicity to the school. This is wonderful. You're being a great role model for your teachers, but you're out of the classroom more than you're in the classroom. So you need to consider resigning. I'm like, no, this is my first real job.
Right.
I just graduated from college. I got a salary. I had to really think about that. And one day during my planning period, you know, because that's when the students are on lunch or whatever, I felt that pull. And it said, look, you either going to go with the speaking or you're going to go with the teaching. And I cried at my desk. I cried because it's like, do I leave this stability? Do I leave everything that I've worked so hard for these past 4 years and then just go with the speaking, which may or may not lead to anything? But I had to choose the speaking. You only live once.
Yep.
Yes.
This is what's calling me. I'm going to answer the call and see where it takes me.
Yeah.
So Ramona, let me ask you. Obviously, you were an amazing student, and that example in your world champion speech or whatever. So, who are some other people that you continue to study and listen to? Other great speakers that you listen to?
Man, first and foremost, in just in the Toastmasters organization, it's just some amazing speakers, man. I got to give it up to Larry Sapansky, who is a competitive speaker and is a Toastmaster. He was the one who told me about the holograms on stage. He was the one who told me about the phrase that pays. He was the one who told me about all these secrets of the World Championship of Public Speaking because I didn't know. Even though I had been in Toastmasters for years before I competed, after I lost in 2015, he sat me down. He said, look, you have what it takes to win, but this is what you need. This is the little seasoning on top. So Larry Sapansky for sure. Got to give it up to Mark Brown and Darren LaCroix.
Yeah.
You have to. They are just the godfathers of public speaking and Toastmasters. So they really took me under their wing, called me their little sister, and just gave me a lot of advice going into the world of professional speaking. I have to shout out Craig Valentine.
Oh yeah,
he's a beast. Woo. Woo.
This man has mentored me. This man has given up time to talk to me. This man said you need to be reading 4 books a month to with public speaking and what's going on. This man said you are the reason why you are not charging what you are worth is because that's a self-worth issue. So look, read this book. And it's going to help you deal with your self-worth. So shout out to Craig Valentine.
yes.
Who else? Dhananjaya Hederachi,
I love that
2014 world
speech.
champion. I see something in you, but I don't know
I
what
think
it
that,
is.
yeah, I think that's my favorite of
That's
all
my
the
favorite.
champions.
Shout out to Muhammad Katani, the guy who won it, the world champion who won in 2015. Outside of Toastmasters, of course, you got Tony Robbins, you got Les Brown. It's mostly men because it's a male-dominated industry, but one day I hope to be the woman that the other women are looking forward to or looking up to.
Oh,
Yeah, you could be the Patricia Fripps and all those people.
Absolutely. Cheryl Rooshes, absolutely. And a world champion of anything is phenomenal. And any way I can help my Toastmasters brothers and sisters, I am here for it.
Whenever you're preparing a keynote or anything, what are some of your preparation habits?
I'm old school. I still use the outline with the Roman numerals. Once I know the theme, once I know what their expectations of me are, I do my Roman numeral 1 introduction. How do I want to catch their attention? How do I want to transition into the body? Roman numeral 2, the body. What are my 3 main points? Roman numeral 3, conclusion. What's my call to action? How am I going to end it? How am I going to tell them what I just told them? And from there, I just start adding fat to the bones or meat to the bones. And then from there, I just start to practice.
Okay. What are your practice habits like? Do you
still like to write it out? Mostly I like to write it out. After I get my script, it's just Michael Jordan and Kobe in the gym.
put in them reps? Yep, put in the reps. I like it. Michael, you got anything?
So Ramona, let's talk about testimonials. How do you leverage getting testimonials when you were speaking?
I did not used to do a lot of testimonials, but I understand that people need to hear it from somebody else besides you. And so when I do events now, my videographer, he gets the testimonials for me. And because you can tell when you move the room. Because when people are coming up to you and speaking after, those are the people that I get. I don't go to random people like, oh, excuse me, ma'am, would you mind giving me a testimonial? No, I go to the lady that's standing in line and that's going to wait for 15 minutes to ask me one question. All right. And it's just better when they don't hear it from you. Because when they hear it from you, I learned that it sounds a little arrogant and egotistical. Like, yes, I'm the best speaker. Yes, I did this. Yes. Other than on the flip side where somebody else says, okay, she is great. She is good. It's kind of allowing it to sound more natural. Do a great job and you'll get them and people will say yes.
What would you tell to somebody who is contemplating entering a speech contest for the first time?
Well, I would say do it to learn, grow, and have fun. Do it to learn, grow, and have fun. If you genuinely want to be a better speaker, iron sharpens iron every time. If you
Mhm.
want to be the best, you have to surround yourself with the best people so that you can say, oh my goodness, she did that. That was amazing. Or he did that. He was amazing. And then you can add that to your repertoire.
All right, Mike, you got any other questions?
Yeah. So one last question. I'm curious. So what type of legacy are you looking to leave behind, Ramona?
Somebody asked me that question the other day, and I didn't answer it the right way. She asked me, what I think it was the same question. What legacy do you want to leave, or what do you want to be known as? And I answered that question very selfishly because so you asking me now is making me reflect on what I said, because I don't want to say it this time around. It was one of my mentors, and I said I want to be remembered as one of the greatest speakers of all times. And I want to No, it wasn't a lady. It was a rabbi. It was a
Oh.
rabbi. And they will challenge your brain. Ooh, they would challenge your brain. And he said, how do you want to be remembered? And I was like, I want to be remembered as one of the greatest speakers of all times. And I want to be remembered as one of the black female Tony Robbins. And he was like, is that it? I was
Oh,
like, what do you mean?
is that enough? Is that not enough? Right?
He was like, you got it wrong. Got it wrong. It's about the hope that you bring to the future generations. It's about the courage that you bring to the people who can't do what you're doing. It's about the change and the transformation that your words make in the lives of other people. It's not about your name. It's not about your face. It's not about your ego. It's about the change and the transformations. How is this world a better place? Because of the words that you said, not just because you showed up, not just because you have a fancy title, but what's the power, what's the punch behind the message, behind the words that you're speaking? I was like, you're right.
Right. Mic
Yes.
drop, facts.
Good.
No, right. No other comment. Awesome.
Because as speakers, that ego will get you. All these people are here for me. Oh, they flew me out to this country. They must want to hear from me. But then you forget about the bigger picture, that you were blessed with this gift to give it.
Talk
And
about it.
it's not about you. And that's another thing that Mark Brown and Darren LaCroix taught me in the beginning. It's not about you. It's the value that you give to the audience.
Mhm.
It is the transformation and the change that takes place within the people after hearing a message that you were blessed with.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That reminds me of my favorite quote that I have on the wall here by Maya Angelou. Right? So they may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Never, ever.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. All right, Michael, do you have any parting words before we leave?
Yeah, so you can find me on social media at Michael J. Pope Jr. on all social media platforms. My website is michaelpopetraining.com, and I'd love to connect.
All right. Ramona, do you have any parting words before we leave?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to thank you guys for what you do. I want to thank you guys for this platform. I want to thank you guys for being courageous to do what you do every single day. And I'm thankful for you all, for the change that you all are making, and for bringing me here to share this moment with you all. So thank you all so very much for this.
Thank you.
Thank you. And please let the people know where they can find you.
Not hard to find at all. RamonaJSmith.com is the website. I speak at RamonaJSmith.com is the email. Google Ramona J. Smith, something will pop up. YouTube Ramona J. Smith, something will pop up. Thankfully for Toastmasters and their amazing marketing. As you heard, I am not hard to get a hold of yet. Now there will be a day where I am. You can't reach me.
You gotta call my assistant, right?
Right?
Right. Call to my assistant. But as of right now, just reach out to me. I will negotiate, not too much, but I will negotiate. I will work with you. I understand it, but understand, even as a woman of Toastmasters, even as a woman of kindness and grace and humility, I am a businesswoman and I have a family to feed. So come correct, come with respect, and it'll be mutual. And I thank y'all so much for the support.
Thank you very much. Well, that wraps up our segment of Conversations with Champions. My name is Johnny Randolph. You can find me at the Randolph Speaker Bureau across all social media. And as I like to tell everybody in my clubs and whenever I meet them, I like to leave them with these departing words. Please remember to be your best, to be inspired, to be great. Talk to you all later.